Alright, what's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing? Uh, Alright. Alright, so that didn't go as expected. But we are here and we got some things on the board that we need to talk about. And then we are going to be writing on that side there for some stuff. Okay, well, that doesn't help anything. So, another late start for the Tigers. And 4-3, top of the seventh. So, pack us up a lip and let's get into it. I unfortunately do not have any outlaw, so we going with that old school today. The good old grizzly dark wintergreen today. What's going on? So I reckon we'll get a little wintergreen up in here. So meeting went well. Got home a little earlier than I thought. And tobacco. And so we're here. Good old caffeine. So we've packed us a lip. We've got some things to talk about right there. And, we've got plenty more on the other side that, we need to put on there. So, we have got, let's see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8. So 8 topics from today. Appreciate you for liking the stream. I do apologize about, that. So, if you are new, what are you doing? I am streaming, and I'm getting ready to talk about what's on the board behind me. So, if you're new here, let me explain a couple of things. So, every now and then I like to throw a couple of curveballs. And, yes, I am. And, I like to utilize, that whiteboard. And so I talked to you guys about each topic. Now, unfortunately, I have no idea what my phone is at as far as battery, but depending, we'll see. I might try and get in a second stream tonight. We'll see. The point is that I like being thorough with my topics. Kind of just go from there. Explain to y'all, well, what's right there as far as some other topics. But below me, right here where this marker is my notebook or my work notebook. And it's where I do most of my work. And it's where I basically come up with questions and write down topics and take notes and all that good stuff. So, if you are new here, welcome to Farming and BS. Check out the channel if you want to. We talk sports. We play farm sim. We have a good time over here. So, that's really the gist of the channel. So, one thing I want to get into that I've been meaning to get into is mod scrolling. Now, you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, mod scrolling? Well, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to those right there, you kind of need some mods to make the game work. Well, with that said, you tend to find some interesting things that you weren't planning on really doing. Cocaine. Well, that's probably what Brendan Sorsby's doing right now, but, you know, or the NCAA for that matter. The point is basically with mod scrolling, do you guys do this? Do you ever just get so locked in to where you are looking for one specific mod for, you know, whatever playthrough you're on, that it takes you like 2 hours to find it? And then you come to realize that after those 2 hours, it is not on the mod sites. It is not on Patreon. And for some reason, it is interesting. I didn't know that. In the in-game mod hub. That was me at about, 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to say we needed like an auger or something for one of the new series that we are getting ready to set up. And, yeah, it took me about 2 hours to find the specific That's why you have zero, because that's without Coke. Okay, cool. I mean, okay. I gotta be honest, that's kind of weird, but okay, whatever, I guess. So yeah, I basically was mod scrolling for about 2 hours. I could not find the mod anywhere. And I go into the game, into the in-game mod hub, and then I realize it is literally right in front of me. So, kind of a funny story. So yeah. So there's that. We do have the first blitz of the summer. And, well, ironically, it has to do with the pennant that is behind the whiteboard. That team, ironically, is the Lions. The Lions blitz that we are going to go through, I have numbers, I have data, I have a whole bunch of stuff. The point is, it is going to be 7-8 minutes of rapid fire questioning. This blitz, however, is going to revolve around the quarterbacks that you are facing. So, we have that. Then, we have to give Douglas some more love. The reason why we have to shout out Doug in specifically is there was a pivot in the show today at around, I want to say about 1:15. And that's, of course, when we got a new missive. And, well, things got interesting. But very, very simple. It will be the thumbnail for either tonight's stream or tomorrow's stream. The reason for that is because I want to know. We're living in this oddity, if you want me to be honest with you, with the Tigers, with the Red Wings, and the pivot consists of who gets you the better deal. Because here's the thing. We are going to take all of the variables and we're going to put them way over there. And we are going to basically discuss it. And you have two GMs in this town that basically have to do what's right for the franchise. With that, I want to know who you trust more and who gets you the better deal between the Scott Harris And on top of that, Steve Eisenman. I think it can be a interesting discussion. So that's why we got to give Doug a little bit more love on that. I also want to get into Gator a little bit. Based on that, Gator believes that Larkin will be here opening night. So, as they were talking through that, I thought, that's kind of interesting. And to be quite honest, I've kind of just disregarded it. And the reason for that is because of, I just don't buy it. So, basically with this one, there is no animosity, no vitriol, nothing. We're going to give Gator his flowers as well. Because I want you to put a number to it. I think that there is a large percent of you who agree with Gator based on the calls, the text, the, what do you call it now, X or whatever. I don't even know. I'm not even on there, so I couldn't even tell you the name of it. The point is that based on the things that I have seen, the things that I have read, and then obviously listening to both Doug and Gator, it seems like there is a higher percentage of people that climbs every single day for Larkin will be here opening night. So if Larkin is here on opening night, then I want to know how you feel as a fan. I mean, I kind of can't leave the variables out of that one. Especially because of the report today from the agent who had the damning quote about Steve and Larkin. And look, I don't think I think that both parties do have blame in this. But I want to know if Gator's more right than wrong. Because of, at least to my knowledge, the people that we do talk to are the paying customer. And so I want to know, A, would you go on opening night if Larkin is still here? And then B, is Gator right? Does Gator have more of a point than we think based on his analogy? Because it sure seems like there is a growing percentage of people who believe that Larkin will be here opening night. So I want to talk about that. I do want to talk about the agent's comments because, my God, they were scintillating. Then it's almost as if Yahoo Sports has basically listened. Whether it is to the stream, whether it's to me, I don't know. But last night I couldn't help but keep thinking about this Brendan Sorsby story. And keep going through all the quotes and all that. Well, wow. I have found two specific oddities that make you question the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin being the integrity of the game. And ironically, one game is from last year, and then the other game is from 2024. And ironically, I have the data, I have the notes, I have the game logs from that. And boy, oh boy, do the numbers certainly paint a hell of a story, if you want me to be honest. I did receive a message. Or not a message, but a missive. And no, it wasn't about the wings. It was about something that is very, very close to me. And for about a year, I ran a Instagram page. And ironically, I didn't have this problem. But this is going to be more of the do what you need to do, not what you want to do kind of topic. And it's interesting because if you have watched my Instagram, my Facebook, any of those things from a couple of years ago, many of you know that I have a special needs dog. And he has Addison's disease and has I can't think of the term right now. Hip dyslexia. And basically, he also has one more thing. And he is a little bit of an older dog now. He is 5 years old. So this story kind of hit me a little bit different. Because look, with my dog, it's a little bit different. He is a larger breed. So large breed dogs do have that problem. But this story just hit home. Just hit home for me in the sense of my dog. And it's interesting because it applies to the times that we are living in. And to be honest, it's the very reason why I left social media and why I will never go back. So we will talk about that. I do got to get into Charlie Baker's comments as well. And then I got to get into this Larkin thing. This is going to go along with the Larkin topic of that. I think a lot of people are losing the plot here, and I'm kind of annoyed by it, if you want me to be honest with you. Why should Larkin keep proverbially sticking his head in the toilet with the Red Wings after giving them a decade? And ironically, I have a comp for you with it. And ironically, the comp is in fact the organization that so wishes they could be the Red Wings. Because the out and out difference of this comparison is that the Wings have won multiple Stanley Cups, and this team has not even won a single one yet. What's going on? And then ironically, I also have the year that everybody thought it was cool to like this team. And I have some examples for you. So we'll get into that because, well, I think it's quite interesting. Just hanging out talking to you guys, bro. And then we have multiple pages on the Brendan Sorsby article that Yahoo put out. And, you know, it's kind of ironic because I stayed up last night a lot more than I would like to admit. But I did some searching. I couldn't stop thinking about this story. And, you know, the Texas Tech AD wants to come out and say, well, you know, there's just no perfect answer. Right. The problem is that myself, along with plenty of you guys who watch college football or even root for these teams, these two oddities that I found are the exact same ones in the Yahoo article. And ironically, they paint a hell of a picture. So, hell yeah, I'm amped to talk about that. Because First of all, I have the game logs. And, it's kind of interesting that both of the games come out to the Devil's number, 5.5 points. Where, ironically, since he was both a 5.5 point favorite, and then ironically, a 30-24 Arizona win, and then of course the 31-24 West Virginia win. Huh. Well, that certainly seems odd, doesn't it? But I have the point totals. I have a bunch of things to get into with this specific story. I have the Texas Tech AD's comments. I have the donors' comments, which are hilarious. And then on top of that, I gave you the comments last night from the Big 12. Kind of ironic how that works out, isn't it? But it's certainly interesting considering we're under 100 days to go. And then ironically, it's also the fact of that this story just keeps going. Just keeps continuing. So we'll get into that. And then, of course, well, we got 3 new topics up there. Now, I have not decided specifically on what maps or anything like that quite yet. But the new series that I am going to get into is in fact on the board there. The Nebraska Farm Series, the Shop, and then of course the Blast from the Past. So obviously with the Nebraska Farm Series, we're going to go a little bit modern. With each series that we have right now, with First Gen, A Kid and a Dream, and then of course Grandpa's Farm, yeah, we have some modern, but most of it is old. So with Nebraska, I want to kind of modernize. And obviously we are talking massive fields, massive harvest, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys do have any suggestions, make sure you drop them below. As far as the shop goes, the shop is going to be an interesting one because, well, obviously there is a lot of trucks out there, and I think it could be a fun series. Now, here's the problem. The problem is that I tend to do a lot of live streaming, not recording. So yeah. So we're going to go with a long form version of the shop. Which obviously brings me to the next one, which is obviously that I did purchase a specific Patreon for the shop series. And then, of course, it is the Blast from the Past series. The Blast from the Past series is, in fact, a series that is on a map from Farming Simulator 19. And no, it's not county line. I'll tell you that. So those are the three new ones that are going to be coming this week at, well, some point. The other thing is that, well, let me just be frank with you. I have a lot more than, well, just those three. Obviously, we have Grandpa's. We have the first gen series. We have the A Kid in a Dream series. We have the three new ones that I just mentioned. We have gold mining. We have the Uncle's Farm. We have the Modern Farm. We have the Homeowners. We have really just a bunch of ideas currently. We also have the Ranch. Now, I thought this was really cool, and obviously the Ranch is going to be a little bit different from our usual gameplay stuff because it is going to be more about owning a ranch, obviously doing more with animals, doing more with productions, all that kind of stuff. So that will be the case with that. Then it's going to come down to more of, I don't just want to push out content. And I talked a little bit about this last night, and it's the sense of that with the Kid in a Dream series, it is now caught up with Grandpa's Farm. So with Grandpa's Farm, I believe we're at episode 6, 5 or 6, somewhere around there. I can't remember right now. The point is that what I am trying to do is I am trying to get first gen and A Kid and a Dream series both caught up with Grandpa's Farm before we move on to those. So then the other thing that I talked about is that, well, I'm trying not to use the same mods for each series. So that adds a different variable that is quite challenging at times. Because of, I don't just want to do, 4 John Deere series or 4 Case series. Or 7 New Holland series. I want to switch it up with each series. So, that's kind of where we're at. So, obviously, tomorrow is a day game. So we will see where that goes. I don't think that I will be off early. I don't think anyway. We'll see. But very, very possibly I could be home by 9:40-ish maybe. We'll see. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be on extra early and be ready to roll. Then on top of that, the other thing that I want to do is I do want to start switching up weeks. Now, that's going to be a little bit challenging based on my job and based on everything else that I have going on. But right now, we're kind of on a streak. if you want me to be honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because we have went for about a week and a half on pure content. Now, obviously, I do want to try and finish out this week. So it would be more of next week. Let's say it's, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The problem with that is that it kind of gets like this, to where I have a lot more topics than I need for just one stream. So, with that, as I talked about, we are going to get into the Sorsby thing because the data that Yahoo found was damning, along with the data that I found last night as well. Then obviously it is the Larkin stuff. Right now, I would tend to say the Red Wings are the biggest, story in town right now, with Larkin asking out, and then obviously the Skubal stuff. But the Larkin topic is more of a discussion. It's more of a discussion based on, why are you going to Larkin again? Then on top of that, I got to get into I don't like the straw mans, the straw man arguments that are being formed. So I want to attack those. And then, who do you trust more? Who gets you a better deal? Is it Steve Yzerman with Dylan Larkin? Or is it the Scott Harris with Skubal? And then obviously I do have a agent that has just a damning, and I mean damning, quotable. And obviously, for me, the more that comes out, the more I take Larkin's side. So, there's that. And then obviously I do want to get into Gator's take as well. So we can talk about that. And then I do have the first blitz of the summer, which is going to be about the QBs that you're facing. We do have the caller of the day that I want to get into a little bit as well. My main problem is that I don't want to fall behind. I don't like falling behind, and it gets me into a sense of like urgency, if you want me to be honest with you. And it really gets to a point where I kind of have to make a decision on, what topics are more important. So, yeah. So I'm trying my best, like I said, because I don't want to fall behind. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then, we can go from there. So, with that said, I think that is going to do it for this evening, guys. So we will hop on tomorrow. I'm really, really hoping that I should be home by like 9:40ish tomorrow, maybe 9:35, somewhere around there, because it is a day game. So we'll see. I don't know if we're supposed to get weather or not. We'll see. But basically, the main things that I want to focus on is Larkin, Sorsby, and then the Lions. Those are the three that we will talk about tomorrow. And then obviously those three are going to be the topics of discussion tomorrow. But it's all going to depend on if anything new comes out. So if anything new comes out, we'll probably add a fourth topic. But for right now, I would say that those three are going to be the main three, at least for right now. And then we can get into Thursday's topics. We can get into Friday's topics. And then obviously we will do some stuff over the weekend. And then we can kind of go from there on that. So what I am truly hoping for is to finish out the week strong. And then next week we'll divvy it up, obviously, again, depending on topics. And then we'll see if you guys like that more. But then again, if you guys like the all-week kind of stuff, please let me know, because, it's like I said before, you guys are what drive this channel. You guys are what truly drives this channel. You guys drive me. You guys inspire me. So, we can kind of go from there, and then we can kind of adapt, is basically the main point. So, all right, so looks like the Tigers are about to lose game 2, 6-3. Interesting. All right, so, yeah, I would say for right now, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Well, actually, no. Let's just say tomorrow and Friday will be first gen. And then whatever we have left, if we have to do a third day on the first gen farm, we will. So my thing with that is that I don't want it to get so stagnant that it just becomes boring. I don't want it to be like that. And I'll be honest, I am afraid of that. So, and that's just me being honest. So that is going to be the main point. So tomorrow, I want to talk about this Yahoo article on Sorsby. I want to talk about Dylan Larkin. And then I want to talk about the Lions. Because, my God, the weather is incredible. Was like 95 today. Now, mind you, though, I prefer cold weather. But the point is like, I kind of like it when it gets, nice out. So, yeah. So, yeah. And then, obviously, depending on how that third day goes, we can really start getting into those three. So, it'll more than likely, I haven't really decided yet, so if you guys do want to help me out, please let me know. But I'm probably going to start with the shop, and then I'll go into the blast from the past, and then I'll probably get into the Nebraska series last. So that is going to be the main point for that. Of course, if you guys do want it differently, please let me know. And then we can kind of go from there, and I can kind of gauge on what you guys want to see from that. Yeah, I mean, that basically sums it up for right now. So, tomorrow, first gen, and then Friday we'll do first gen as well. And then we can kind of just, if we have to do the third day, I hope you guys can understand. And then obviously, we can start on the new stuff. And then obviously we can turn the board around and we can get back to A Kid in a Dream series. We can get back to Grandpa's Farm. And then obviously we can get into that and go from there. And like I said, I do want to try and keep every series caught up with each other, so we don't get so far behind on one series where, basically we're doing like, I don't know, a week or something like that. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that'll do it for tonight. So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys as always. And you guys, the real MVPs, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for watching as well. Look, I am trying to space everything out, and I am trying to space out, the curveballs for certain times. So that way, when it does come through, this isn't a nightly type of deal. So, obviously, if you guys have any questions, let's get after it. But obviously, we got plenty of work to do tomorrow, so we'll catch y'all then, man. Appreciate y'all watching. Love you guys, man. Really appreciate you guys, as always. You guys are the real MVPs. We'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Later.